One of the Conservatives' leading MEPs has been thrown out of the party. He's Edward McMillan-Scott. He led the Conservative group in the European Parliament until recently. But in the summer, he defied instructions from David Cameron and stood against a Polish MEP who Mr Cameron supported as Vice President of parliamentary grouping. And he won. His penalty was to have the party withdrawn immediately. And last night, he was expelled from the party. And he's on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I know that you stood against this particular candidate, Michael Kamiński, a Polish politician, partly because of what you think of him as an individual, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Well, as you say, it's not just me that thinks it about him, it's many other people, and it was the post of Vice President of the European Parliament, not the group. He's now leader of the group. The problem really is that in David Cameron's European policy, generally speaking, there are no problems at all. He's got it about right. He's got it about right on domestic policies. I want him to be the next Prime Minister. But on this particular issue of the partnerships in Europe, they do matter. They matter to the city, they matter to farmers, they matter to many people in the UK. But to be unable to deliver in the European Parliament is a mistake. And I think that that's now been established by the media. And it's no shame to lose the whip. I mean, Harold Macmillan lost it for opposing appeasement in 1937. But to be expelled on the point of principle is entirely wrong. And not to be told by the party that they were going to do it is, I think, vengeful and fruitless.
So why have they done it, do you think?
Well, I suppose they're clearing the decks before the party conference. I mean, I can understand that. I know about party management. I've been very close to the party for a long time.
They don't want you rocking the boat?
Maybe, but, you know, the issue is much bigger than that. It is to do with the incoming Conservative government. Is it going to be more Eurosceptic than it currently is? If so, then there's a problem. I don't think the country is ready for that. And I know that a lot of people in the Conservative Party, very close to the leadership, who are Europhobes, who have been tending to dominate the agenda. I think it's time that people with a more pro-European point of view, like myself, are allowed to say something without being expelled from the party.
So do you think that Mr Cameron has been exploited by those Europhobes who actually want Britain to leave Europe?
I'm certain of it, yes.
But he won't fall for that, will he, or will he?
I hope not, no. I mean, the party conference to come, days after the Irish referendum, whether they vote yes or no, is a difficult time for him. I recognise that. But, you know, this decision is wrong. They can take me out of the Conservative Party, but they can't take the Conservative out of me.
Well, yeah, but you as a Conservative, you should toe the party line, shouldn't you?
Well, as I said before, you know, some people lose the whip on points of principle, and I did. I was making arrangements to have it restored. The party knew that, but despite that, without consulting me, they threw me out. That is, as I say, vengeful and fruitless. And it will only help the Labour Party to attack the Conservatives.
But, I mean, maybe they're looking at what's happened to the Conservative Party in the past. We all know what has happened to the Conservative Party when it split over Europe. And if you're there, as they see it, rocking the boat, making trouble with the sceptics, then, or the Europhobes, as you call them, then perhaps you're better off out than in.
Well, I don't think so. The Conservative Party has always been a broad church, and as I say, I think Cameron has got it right on domestic policy. He's got it right, generally speaking, on Europe by not talking about it, but actually taking the right stand, which is that if all the parliaments of Europe and the Irish people have voted yes to the Lisbon Treaty, then the party will be committed not to having a referendum. And what I fear is that this may change in the coming weeks, and I would oppose that, because I think, you know, you can't vary party policy, which has been established in a European election. It was in our manifesto quite clearly, and I don't want to see that changed.
Edward McMillan-Scott, thank you very much.